I'm John Shinholser, president and co-founder of the McShin Foundation here in Richmond, Virginia. You know, we have a wonderful recovery center, many recovery residences. We carry the message of hope in many institutions. We just do a lot of wonderful things here. But one of the things I'm especially proud of is we created a memorial garden. And a memorial garden is a beautiful garden that has just a place where we can memorialize our loved ones lost to this illness. So I want to send the country a strong message and build out this memorial garden, but I need your help. So please go to our website, click on the link to Memorial Garden, and purchase a brick for your loved one, very inexpensive. And let's show the country that we matter, that we count, and that we're not going anywhere. Hello. Welcome. I'm John Shinholser, president and founder of McShin Foundation, also a person in long-term recovery from substance use disorders. And for that means for the purpose of tonight's topic, how do we stay clean and sober during the holidays? This is my 40th clean and sober holiday. So if there's anything I know how to do is how not to use through the holidays. And we might hear more about that in a minute. But I do want to welcome everybody. We're very proud to have you here tonight. Me and honestly Liller, the other co-founder of Care Talks. This is like a little side hobby of ours, putting these talks together because we think it's important that we have recovering people share about recovery on a regular basis. So we think it's a good hit. And we're very excited for our lineup tonight. You know, the holidays, I do remember my first holiday season. And it was very difficult to stay clean. My particular situation, I was in the Marine Corps at the time, 6,000 miles from home, in an environment that wasn't conducive to staying in recovery. As you can imagine, being in a deployed battalion in the infantry on ships and going around the country and the world, you know, you're with your people, places, and things. But one thing I know I had to do, once I got that message, how to do this thing, I had to find my recovering people. So during the holidays, my first season in the holidays, I had to hang out with recovering people every chance I got. Whatever they did, I did it. And you just follow and you just do that. You know, I wasn't very happy at the time, but as years went by, I learned how to normalize the holiday season. And now I really look forward to it. And I know it's a very relaxing, comfortable family time of year for me. And I hope that'll be your story. I know a lot of y'all, by show of hands, how many of y'all, this is your first holiday season in recovery? I think that'd be most everybody if you hear what I'm saying. Of course, the earth people don't go for y'all. But these speakers we got, they know how to do this. So pay close attention. Take notes if you need be. And as we go down our lineup, our first man up is Marlon Bacote. But the man you're about to hear, during our break, we do a break in between the first half and the second half. And during the break, Marlon happened to have written a book. And he's got his book set up in the back of the room. And you're welcome to a book. You got to buy it. And I wasn't sure if we purchased them and given them to anybody in one of our program house. If you would like a book, a signed copy, Marlon will give you one and just let us know how many it is and we'll reimburse you for it. But I want the program house folks, if you like what this man says, you want a signed copy of his book, you get one. You know, I met Marlon. I really got to know Marlon well in the last few weeks. And me and Marlon were talking in my office one day, and we had just a wonderful talk. I mean, I really enjoyed that time we had. He gave me a book, and that's my next book to read. I haven't got around to reading it yet, but I've watched you. I watched what you do around here, and I really can't wait to crack the cover and read it, because I'm sure I'll go cover to cover with it. But you really, you've touched my spirit since I've known you. And I know I've been around long enough to know when I get around authentic people who is somebody worthy of really trying to spend time with together. And you're one of those people. And I really look forward to spending more time with you. So, warm Care Talk welcome for Marlon Bacote. Good to see you, buddy. Proud of you, man.
It's a whole lot coming from my hero. Well, all right, got to get through this, y'all. Not gonna cry right now, but hi, my name is Marlon. I'm an addict in recovery, and I'd like to welcome y'all to Care Talks. So navigating through the holidays, right? When I thought about this, I said, what's one of the most important things that we think about when the holidays come? Family. Somebody said Santa. Okay. And what does Santa bring? Gifts. Wow. Right there. That thing. Gifts. Because guess what? Right? I thought about how many times I woke up as a kid hoping I get the gift I wanted, that I had started acting right for, started being on my best behavior. So my parents, so I could get on Santa's nice list, right? Or I thought about a gift that I would get for a family or friend, someone special in my life. What gift could I get them to let them know that I love them, right? And guess what? Since I've been here, I realized I get the best gift of my life every day when I wake up. We get the gift of life every day. We don't have to wait for the holidays or navigating through the holidays to understand how valuable this gift is, right? And so I say all that to say, while I'm navigating through the holidays, what have I done with gifts in the past, or my gift of life? I've taken it for granted, right? I haven't valued it. And sometimes we do that with gifts, but I believe that one of the most important things I can do this holiday season for myself, and also for the people that love me, and for my higher power that gave me that gift, is to treasure it. So let's treasure our gift of life this holiday season. And also let's protect it, right? Because sometimes we can let people borrow our gifts, or we can give our gifts away, let people use them. Let's protect our gift by protecting our peace. This is what I do. I protect my peace to treasure my gift. And that way, my life, whatever I'm doing, I remember one time this summer, as I was, in an isolated spot, as I was just focusing on myself, learning to love me while at Sunnybrook, and didn't have a car, and I had to stay in the house a lot, just go to work and come home and come here on Wednesday night, McWednesday. You know how that is, guys. You gotta be here all day, right? And that was one of the best times of my life, because I got to sit alone with myself and learn that I love the gift of life. I love being able to love me and just be with me by myself. Um, so I say protect your gift, right? Treasure your gift. Don't let anything disturb it, not even the holidays, because they'll come and go. But guess what? After December, after January 1st, if we still happen to be here, we're still going to get that gift of life, right? I went downstairs last week and went on the wall. I had to ask, where is she? Joyce. I said, what's that name? She said, the big room. I said, well, that's where those names are of people we've lost to addiction. They don't have that gift of life anymore. And I took some pictures. I took pictures of those, and I'm sure it's many more names that people are dealing with the loss of a loved one during the holidays. And like I have been in the past, I lost myself. I wasn't here physically, emotionally, or anything for the people that need me. I was dead to them. And so I'm just so grateful for the gift of life that I have today, and for you all that are here with me celebrating this holiday 2022. I love y'all. Happy holidays.
Now, Marlon has set the pace here for these talks. That was a good job, Marlon. We say, 8 minutes maybe. A lot of people go 10, 12, 14. Yeah, I think you on point there. So big hit. This next fella coming up, I met Kevin a few years ago. He was one of our weekend warriors around here. And I'm telling you what, this man is a beast for recovery. He's the kind of guy I could just sit there and let him do the talk and I just absorb it. And not only that, if a lot of people might look at me and say, well, John really, says what he's thinking, right? Not like this guy, man. This guy, he will say what he's thinking. And it's like, holy smoke, man. I met a guy more talking about what he's thinking than me. And I've seen the impact he's had on people. When Kevin gives it to you, oh my God, if you don't get it from Kevin, you need greater help. But anyway, Kevin, come on up here and tell us how you stay clean during the holidays. Give Kevin a big hand, man. This is. Yes, sir.
I've been clean since 5/28/06. That's 2 days short of 16 and a half years. And I want to thank God, man, for saving me. And my sponsor tells me to say to God of my understanding because a lot of people get offended when you talk about God. It's the God of my understanding who saved a guy who had been homeless twice. The second time was for 5 years. Who saved a guy who stole everything from his parents that won't nail down. Who saved a guy who couldn't be told nothing. I knew everything when I was younger, man. And if you in here, man, and I'm 58 years old. If you younger than 58, you might want to take heed of this. If you think you know everything and can't nobody tell you nothing, I feel bad for you, man. I feel bad for you, man. Because I paved the road, man, for everybody that's coming behind me, man. Being locked up 38 times down that old city jail, that ain't stopped me from doing what I wanted to do. I ain't scared to go to jail. It ain't nothing but a break for me. Being homeless twice, that ain't stopped me, man. Stealing from my parents, that ain't stopped me. What stopped me, man, one day at a time, man, that I got tired. I had a hell of a spiritual awakening, man. I was homeless. I was in Monroe Park. I got on one of those buses that went to Victory Tabernacle Church. Midway through the service, I started crying. I went to the healing place, which I was going in overnight part of the program, maybe twice a week. I went into the program that day, and I ain't used since. I ain't want to use. I'd be lying to you if I didn't say I didn't think about using because I always think about using. And I remember, man, it hasn't been hard, not one day, man. And y'all might have noticed the way I came up here, and that's because I got a $52,000 prosthetic leg on. That I lost my leg at 8 years. And I laid in the bed, man, and that's when spirituality really, really hit me, man. My girlfriend, who I met through Facebook, because I wasn't thirsty after a woman, I was trying to get to know myself. And God dropped one right in my lap. We've been together 5 years. She went home for the weekend, and I was just telling Corey, man, about how the disease come at you. It can't come at me about going to get 2 for 15. It'll come through me, through her now. My behaviors with her. When she wanted to know why I ain't answer the phone, why every time I go to somewhere, your FaceTime don't work. And me and Corey was over there laughing, and Kazoo pops up on my shoulder at any given time. You better explain to her what you're doing. But they say happy wife, happy life. So I want the household to be good, man. So I explained to her. I don't know what happened to the phone, babe. I need to go in there and check it and see what happened and all, man. And then he said, you a chump, man. I said, yup. I said, I sure enough am, man. I listened to his voice right here, man, for 30 years. I listened to this voice. And everybody in here, man, got spirituality in them. You know how I know? Because everybody in here probably done stood in front of a judge, and I guarantee you, God came out your mouth then, didn't he? Lord, please don't let him. Lord, please don't let him give me them 6 years. You know, man, I had a spiritual awakening, man, and God took the desire away, man. He took it. He took it, man. You know, my girlfriend, she going to Boston. She be back. I got to pick her up from the airport tomorrow evening. And then ain't nobody company I love my girlfriend, man. Ain't nobody company I love better than my own, man. Because I know what tranquility all about, man. I ran and I ran and I ran, man, until I got tired. And when I got tired, man, God knew my heart. John, I thank y'all for giving me the opportunity to go down that city jail that I've been locked up down there 36 times in the old one. And sometimes when them deputies take too long to come get me, man, I'll get somebody else to take me downstairs. I said, boy, they digging something up on me, man. But see, I still look at the glass as being half empty, man, where I come from. The hardest part I had to do, man, was how to act like a human being, man. How to treat a woman, man. How to look at a man in his eyes. How to be confident. I got down to the jail, man. I'm going to tell you, man, when you get to a certain point, man, with your spirituality, you don't care what nobody think about you, man. I don't care. Not where I come from, man. I'm going to end with this. I'll pull up because I learned to be on time is to be late. I'm always at the jail 15 minutes ahead of time. Always there 15 minutes ahead of time. Lady said, you always here early. I said, yeah, I got there from the program I came through and all. And so as I got on my truck one day, there's another lady that worked down there. She worked in housekeeping. An older lady worked with a limp. And so I was cleaning my glass. I had washed my truck, so I was leaning the glass, cleaning the glass, and I happened to look over there, and I saw her whispering to a dude. And I know she was talking about me, you know. And that would have bothered me, man. That would have bothered me, man, 5 or 6 years ago. But you know what I said to myself? She can't be doing nothing but telling them how good I look. Thank y'all.
You know, I guarantee you in the old days, holidays rolled around, I had like radar up here, heat seeking radar. I knew where all the drugs were, all the parties, where all the old gang was every holiday season. I get in recovery, I had to lose that. I had to find my old timers and say, where are you going? What are you doing? We're going to a meeting. We're going to an alcothon. We're going to an open house. And I followed people around to these meetings, to the open houses, to these recovery events, these recovery parties. I avoided people, places, and things. You know, this is your first season. I know here at McShin and other recovery community organizations, we got constant barrage of events, people, places, and things that are all about recovery, staying clean and sober. So keep that in mind. Now, this next woman coming up here, she got as much experience as screwing up during the holidays as she does staying clean and sober during the holidays. She knows how to do it. She's a real warrior. I watched her the last few years. This is another one of those true recovering warriors. And Tammie, come on up here and tell us how we do this thing. Give Tammie a warm welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you move around, take the mic with you and talk in it so the Facebook people can hear us. Well, if you do, take the hand mic.
Hey, everybody. Miss Tammie. I'm a person in long-term recovery. It's good to be here tonight, and I just wanted to start out just by saying, when I say I'm a person in long-term recovery, I have the disease of addiction, and I've been abstinent from drugs and all other, in any form, whether you drink, whether in the liquid form, the vapor form, since January 17th of 2019. But on a deeper level, and I mean, and that's exciting. I am coming up on 4 years, but I don't really front myself clean time like that. I'm very grateful for my clean time. And when I say long-term recovery, I really, on a deeper level for me, it means I was 17 years old and when I first was told about recovery, and I wanted it then, and I've been on the path to get here ever since. Um, and the message with that is that if no matter how many times you've ever tried, I know that John asked how many people it was their first time attempting, recovery. But if you've been trying for as long as I have, if you have, I think it's important to identify. I've got more white key tags and more white chips than to fill up a dresser drawer. But if you've tried that many times too, welcome. Keep coming. It will eventually work. If you could survive to get here, um, it can work for you, because it's worked for me. And, so I was thinking about, what has been working for me since I got here this time. And it really starts out with just, I was broken, and as broken as I've ever been in my entire life. I did not think that if I came back to the program that it was going to work for me. I didn't think anything was going to work. I really thought that the best thing for me to be was to be dead, to go away from here. And so a series of events happened that I was freed. I went to jail. I didn't think I was going to get out, and I did. And for the longest, like, I made some commitments when I came out. I was so starkly awake about the fact that I did not want to live anymore if it was going to be like that, and that everything had to change. And I made the commitment that I was going to get in here and that I was going to do all the things that they had been saying all along. And it started with going to meetings all the time. And as I started coming to meetings every single day and started being a part of the recovery community, I was asked to maybe come and, because you couldn't really get rid of me around here. And so I was asked to come and, and Jesse asked me to come and work some weekends. And as the holidays approached, I had been working some weekends along with another job. And, one thing I want to share right now is that, like, what I did to stay clean during the holidays these last 4 years may not be what works for you. Like for my story, for some people, it's important to move, to be with family. And for others, my case is it's important for me to be family for someone who has none, or is alone. So that is pretty much how I approach the holidays. And when shifts were available, and they were asking for people to fill them, I was like, well, give me all of them, because I needed to save my life. And we ended up having such a good time. I mean, we packed up the van and went and saw the sights. And, we did all kinds of stuff together. And I think, a big part of it for me was to just, ask God where he wants me, and to present to me, like, who I, can be there for. And I'll tell you, every time I do that, someone appears. And I have had the honor and privilege of making friends for life through that process. And I put myself around the winners here. And I get that inclusion from them. They taught me to do it, to turn myself out, because of them and what they do. So, if you're struggling on the holidays, just reach out. Look for somebody in the room whose face looks blank, who doesn't look like they're laughing and carrying on with everybody else. Look for that person and reach out to that person, and you'll get relief from your own self. I have, and I guess that's all. Thank you.
I can remember that like that first Thanksgiving I went through. And I got to thinking, well, that wasn't bad. I made it, right? Then you got Christmas and New Year's coming. And I was thinking, man, I'll never make it. But because I was hanging out with them old timers, following them around, doing what they were telling me, I started getting some benefit, and I got to thinking, wow, what would my life look like if I make it to a whole holiday season without screwing up? Because if I do, that'll be the first time I don't end up getting arrested. And I'm thinking I'd like to go through one holiday season without all that drama. And daggone if I didn't make it through. And I got to thinking after that first holiday season, wow, I just did that. I might be able to do another one. Because during that season, as I'm feeling so bad, being angry and frustrated, it occurred to me because everybody kept telling me, look, keep coming back. He gets better. And I'm thinking, well, hell, it's got to get better, number one, because it sucked coming through the first one. But the people I was around was enjoying life. They were looking good. They were excited. And, they're talking about multiple years of recovering, going through these seasons time and time again. I'm thinking, that's what I want. So if all I got to do is not use and do what they do to get what they get, man, you can count me in. Our next speaker, Corey, he's a hell of a man. This guy's a true beacon of hope. I mean, he's like a lighthouse upon himself. And not only is he a good old timer in recovery, but he taking the initiative to do this thing, a step above, you might say. He took on that challenge to have his own recovery houses, and I'm talking good ones. I'm glad. I'm excited to know he's got some openings because I might have some people for him here in the next week or so. We might be able to fill him up quicker than he wants to be full. But man, if I was a man in recovery looking for a sponsor or looking for somebody to kick it with, you'd be foolish not to get this man's phone number. I mean, this guy, I'm telling you, man, he's a real deal. Not that all the other speakers aren't, but not only that, he's got the capacity to share his recovery with you too, which is good. So, Corey, come on up here and tell us how you do it.
Recovering addict named Corey. Thank you, John, for asking me to speak. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for Care Talks. It's funny how God works for me, because this has been the hardest holiday season that I've had. And when you told me the topic, I like I do was laugh. I'm like, oh, you funny, like this is real. So you're talking about navigating the holidays and not using and staying clean through the holidays. And this is my first holiday season alone. I've had some changes in my life, and it's just me. Like growing up as a kid, it was always family, and then I got my own family and all that stuff. And so it was always, and then it was, in my party years, I was always hanging out with friends and doing a bunch of stuff. And this year it was just me. And I have to realize what, for me, the way my brain works, like I have to understand things for me to really work my way through them. And the first thing I had to understand is I'm an addict. However you want to call it, substance use disorder, addict, person in long-term recovery. I like to get high. That was me. And I have a pathway of recovery that helps address that. I don't know if I'm not advocating or promoting, but Narcotics Anonymous saves my life on a daily basis. And I take the principles and the teachings of Narcotics Anonymous personally. I thank all of my predecessors that have shown me how to live, how to apply the principles of the program in my life. I have a sponsor that has a sponsor that has a sponsor that has a sponsor, and we keep working step. I have a network of people that I talk to on a daily basis. I have sponsees. I do service work. I do all the things. I pay attention to the things that the old timers saying that they did before me, and it helps to address my disease of addiction. But when I got here, I had this idea, I call it that false veil of recovery that, oh, I'm in recovery, I'm going to work the 12 steps. And I work through the 12 steps, and my life is going to be perfect. Everything is going to be fine. The unicorns and rainbows from now on. No, Jack, that's not how it works. I'm also a literature person. I read the literature of Narcotics Anonymous. And one of the lines in the It Works How and Why, it says that recovery does not exempt us from having to live through painful situations. That's letting me know that it's going to happen. Like it's going to come. Those painful situations are going to come. But the program has already placed things in my life to help me address them, to help me work through them. Right? You're going to have things that's happened. Like this Thanksgiving was hard. Like there are people that have been a part of my life, all of my life, that are no longer here, and they will not be at any more Thanksgivings. That's hard to deal with, right? There's people that have instilled life lessons in me that were a huge part of my life, and they're not here anymore, right? So it makes me sad. Right? My own family has changed. It makes me sad. So I was in pain for the holidays. But then I also had to apply the principles of my program, which tells me we don't use no matter what. Now, I've been clean for a little while. The desire to use has been lifted, thank God. Didn't say nothing about the thought though. Because my brain would tell me, you know what'll make this go away. Like kind of like Kevin was talking about kazoo. You know, that little voice that's in the back of my head. Because, you know, and then I thought something was wrong with me because every now and then I would have the thought to still use. And I had an old timer once tell me, he says, basketball players think about playing basketball. Race car drivers think about race cars. So what do you think addicts think about? So it helped me to understand it's not anything wrong with me. Like that's just the way my brain works. And I had another old timer tell me that it's okay to have the thoughts. It's the action that you need to work on. So I don't have to follow through with the thought. So the thoughts come and they go. So there's the addict part that I have, that I've been blessed to have something to help me deal with it. But I also need to understand that I'm still human. You know, I can't, personally, this is me. I can't blame everything on the disease of addiction. Because when I first got here, I wanted to use the disease as a scapegoat. Everything was a disease. It was the disease's fault. This is me. This might not be for everybody, but I'm talking about me. The human nature is important to address as well, because what we call earth people also feel lonely. They also feel sad. You know, so it's parts of me that are going to feel these things, and it's normal. It's okay. So I have to find something to help address the human side as well. And for me, I choose to call it God, the God of my understanding. I also built, the program of Narcotics Anonymous also helped me to address this aspect too, because it helped me develop a relationship with a God of my understanding, not my parents' God or my grandma's God or the God that y'all talk about. I had to work on myself to develop my own relationship. And I know that the God of my understanding takes care of me. So when I'm an isolator by nature. So leading up to Thanksgiving, like I knew that I was going to be by myself. And I would beat myself up. Like I would sit in the house and sit in self-pity, and I was stewing it and just think about all of the other holidays that were so much fun and how much this one is going to suck and this, that, you know, and I will just beat myself up. Well, the God of my understanding put something in place for that. He put me on my work schedule. I had to work. Didn't even know it until the day before Thanksgiving. Somebody was like, what time you coming to work tomorrow? She said, I ain't coming to work tomorrow. It's Thanksgiving. You need to check the schedule. And I was scheduled to work a 12-hour shift, 8 to 8. Right? So I ain't have to be by myself. I'm the type of person that I can be around a whole crew of people and still be lonely. I don't have to be alone to be lonely. Right? So I get to work, and when I walk in the door, my clients are sitting at the table at 7:30 doing a Bible study. As soon as I walked in the door and asked me to sit down and join them in this Bible study. Right? God doing for me what I can't do for myself. And we sat and we we did this Bible study, and then they were cooking Thanksgiving dinner. So I got in to help cook Thanksgiving dinner. You know, it felt like when I was a kid helping my big mama do cooking, you know, so it got me out of my head. And then we ate and we went around the table, and one of the clients was like, "Can we do a gratitude list? What are you thankful for?" I'm like, I don't want to be thankful. Let me sit in my self-pity. But it wouldn't let me. So they like the program and the God of my understanding helped me when I couldn't help myself. I just had to allow it. Like I am my biggest obstacle every time. There's nothing that anybody else can do, nothing that can happen that can hurt me more than I can hurt myself. And a lot of time it all happens up here. It starts up here, right? That human nature aspect. Like I'm also in a position now where I've done enough work on myself and I've done enough spiritual searching to understand that life is, I'm gonna have feelings. Like I don't fight the emotions that come anymore. Like for a long time, I believed that men don't cry. That's the way I was raised. You don't cry. You deal with it, right? You find a way to figure it out. You don't let nobody see your weakness. It's a lie. It's a huge lie. Feelings are gonna come and go. Just like saying, like it's like tides at the beach. So what I need to do is ground myself. Like everybody likes to go to the beach, you get in the water, you see the big wave, you don't run from it. What do? You brace yourself. You brace yourself. And you let the wave come, and then it goes back out. It's the same way with these feelings and emotions. I allow myself to feel them. I don't run from them anymore. If I want to cry, I cry. If I want to scream, I scream. If I want to kick, if it's ugly, it doesn't matter. Whatever it looks like, I let it come and go. I can't allow myself to create a permanent problem. Well, what is it? A permanent solution to a temporary problem? No, because if I choose to get high, that's permanent. I'm gonna lose my clean date, and I ain't putting. That's the most important thing in my life. May 3rd, 2016. I make a daily commitment every day, and I have a group of people that we send it out every morning. The man always says the same thing. Addict named Corey. Clean date 5/3/16. Sponsor's name, home group name. And today I made a deep and personal commitment to stay clean just for the day. I do it every day. Been doing it every day now for about 5 years. Sometimes I don't feel like doing it. I don't want to do it. But I started it with so many people. I get them all the time. And I be like, nah, let me send this out so y'all leave me alone. But it's affirmation. It affirms my decision. Right? I have to make this decision and this commitment daily. And that's what I do. I get out of my own way. You know, there's another book that I read that helps address my human side. Like I have a book that I read for my recovery side. I also have a book that I read, or actually several books that I read for my human side. And the human one says, I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you. I hold on to it. God of my understanding don't want me to hurt, right? So it gives me hope. That's how I stay clean for the holidays. I understand me because I'm the problem. Like if I go and use, I can't blame it on the holidays. It's my fault. I'm gonna make a decision. I can't blame it on somebody not being here. I can't blame it on being sad. I can't use all of that. If I use, I make a conscious decision to use. I ain't doing that today. Life is too good over this side, even if it's bad, even if it hurts, right? They used to say my best day high doesn't touch my worst day clean. It doesn't, because this too shall pass, in spite of, regardless of whatever is going on in my life, as long as I stay clean, I have a chance to make it better. No matter how ugly it looks, how painful it is. And everybody here can do the same thing if you allow it. It's up to you. John, thank you so much for this.
You know, reflecting back to 1982, you know, all we had a handful of literature and meeting at night. We didn't have a recovery center to go to. Here's some really good news. Anybody in this building is open to go to 7 days a week, typically from 8 to 9, 9 o'clock at night. You have connection. Now, it may not be exciting at times, but it's safe. This is a safe go to escape the chaos in your brain and in the community. So don't underestimate the value of a safe place to go. Not only can you come here, that we have old timers and peers that will talk to you and communicate with you and help you make sense of that garbage in your head. But we have over 2,500 groups and meetings a year in this building. So the chances are good you'll be able to participate in a group. You can catch a 12-step meeting. You can have camaraderie. You can make it till sleepy time, and then off you go to wherever you sleep. And then you can come back the next day and do it again. This goes on actually 365 days a year. But now here during the holidays, we do special events during the holidays here. We had a killer Thanksgiving meal yesterday. I came by twice on the front end and back end just to make sure it was real. And it was an awesome event. Here on Christmas Day, we're going to have a beautiful event here, open house all day long, and New Year's Day. So there's no reason why you got a place to go. And if you're watching this on Facebook and you're in the community, this is open to you too, just not the people present here. This is a public charity recovery community organization open to the community. Now, we got some wonderful events throughout the holidays. I just mentioned 3. On December 17th, you're all invited to the McShin Foundation, friends and family and alumni and board and community open house. And me and my wife have a beautiful open house that night. And you're all invited, 6 to 9. And a bunch of you guys are going to stay late and help clean up, right? Good. We have a special event tomorrow. Coley, he's going to bring a group of men. We're going to go play tomorrow on Saturday, man. We're going to have a fun time tomorrow. Keep you out of your head. I'll show you how to stay clean during the holidays. It's easy, trust me. And during this break, we're going to have a special event. You can go back and get a book from Marlon, man. I mean, this is cool stuff. Now, I know what some of y'all are thinking. I want to go where the guys are. I want to go where the girls are. Well, guess what? This is a co-ed organization. Who knows what might. I mean, Honesty, our co-founder of Carrot Talks, found a husband at one of these events. So it can happen. Well, it was rehab is an event, okay? So, look, we got you covered, okay? There's some things you just will not have to worry about. Now, I believe we're going to take a 10-minute break. So at 6:55, we're coming back. It's important to be back here at 6:55 so our Facebook audience can, they're going to be present, so you need to be present too. You got exactly 10 minutes. Thank you. I'm John Shinholser, president and co-founder of the McShin Foundation here in Richmond, Virginia. You know, we have a wonderful recovery center, many recovery residences. We carry the message of hope in many institutions. We just do a lot of wonderful things here. But one of the things I'm especially proud of is we created a memorial garden. And a memorial garden is a beautiful garden that has just a place where we can memorialize our loved ones lost to this illness. So I want to send the country a strong message and build out this memorial garden, but I need your help. So please go to our website, click on the link to Memorial Garden, and purchase a brick for your loved one, very inexpensive. And let's show the country that we matter, that we count, and that we're not going anywhere.
Hi, my name is Jillian Nye, and I'm the Director of Female Programs here at the McShin Foundation.
I'm Carla. I'm the Assistant Director of Female Programs.
We have an amazing women's program house out in Chester, Virginia.
I've seen so many women's lives change since entering into the McShin Foundation, and I'm grateful to be a part of it.
This is where the girls get to experience recovery in a more intimate setting. The house that they live in sits on about 3 acres of land, and in the back they have a horse pasture where we are able to get animals out there. Soon we should have chickens and goats and all type of different animals. They also get to have their groups here at the house.
I've seen so many women's lives change, and it's amazing to be able to see that. What I like to see is when they come in and when they leave. I see the difference.
Out there they have a group room, they have a exercise room, they have a therapy room, they have no outside distractions going on. They have an amazing opportunity out here to live together.
You've got to, for your recovery, you've got to understand, like, this is a life or death situation. Anytime we go use, we're susceptible, you know, we just are. No matter what drug it is or anything.
Out here at the Chester Program Women's House, this is where they get acclimated in their recovery foundation for the first 28 days.
Communication is the key to recovery. Yeah, we can say just don't use over here. You know, just don't use. Sometimes just don't use, that's great. You know, I live by because I don't use no matter what, but also there's so much more over here that you got to work on in your soul.
This is a really good opportunity for females to come in where they get to build relationships with other women that they live with, because a lot of us come in and we have past trauma with women or have never had a woman figure in our life. They get to work through all that in early recovery.
The reward, though, is seeing you guys, seeing people like Ms. P coming back because she wanted to, seeing women get their children back, you know, seeing you guys, you know, develop relationships. That's what wakes me up in the morning and gets me to come to McShin and you guys, you know, and seeing our alumni and like just, there's a million stories I could tell you about awesome women that have come through McShin and like where they're at now.
So if you're a female that is looking for a program recovery house, Chesterfield House will be an amazing opportunity for you to come out. And this is where you'll be able to found a great foundation of recovery.
After I lost my son, I was searching for an identity. I knew that we needed a space for them to memorialize them. And I came up with the concept of Valoma Memorial Gardens, and it's been beautiful.
This type of grief, losing someone due to an overdose, can be very isolating. And so a garden like this is able to bring people together, let people know that they're not the only one who's lost someone.
Having a public garden and a public space where we bring overdoses and substance use out of the dark, shame, stigmatized areas of the world, it humanizes it, it normalizes it.
So when you come together as a collective, you see that there is more similarities in grief than there is when we're separated. And so it allows people to get support and to feel seen and to feel heard.
We say as a nation, mental health matters. Well, why does it matter? 22% of young people in this country have a mental health disorder with severe impact. It matters because when we don't take care of it, we do things like develop unhealthy relationships with substances, to find ways to cope and manage, to feel comfortable in our own skin. What are we waiting for?
You know, as we were plotting out where we were gonna go, there was a lot of what ifs. But there was one place that there wasn't a what if about, and that was to make sure that we came to McShin here in Richmond.
This is one of our many celebrations of National Recovery Month, which is an annual celebration all around the country to celebrate the lives of people who are in recovery or seeking it.
Look, I just spent the previous 11 years, I didn't care who saw it if I was messed up doing things wrong or bad. So why do you care about if somebody knows you're in recovery? We need people in recovery to live out loud. But if we don't take responsibility of the future of recovery in America, who will?
McShin Foundation is a recovery community organization. We provide housing, a recovery program, and jail-based recovery support services across Virginia and beyond.
Recovery is fluid, and at every turn and at every change in my life, my recovery is ever present.
My name is Stuart Smith. I'm a person in long-term recovery, and what that means is that I get a chance to become part of my community, become part of my family, and it really is a second chance at life.
I personally have lived out loud my recovery for 40 plus years. It has never ever done anything but serve me well. I'm John Shinholser. I'm president and co-founder of the McShin Foundation here in Richmond, Virginia. McShin was established in 2004 by me and my wife, Carol McDade. Many of you folks know Carol, or you might know me. We're both in long-term recovery from substance use disorders. For me, that means I've been clean and sober since August 10th, 1982, which will be 40 years next month. You know, since starting McShin, founding McShin, I had no idea we would grow into this incredible organization that was able to be an incubator for the development and implementation of peer recovery support services, not only here in Virginia, but throughout the United States and many countries in the free world. And it's just been an amazing journey. You know, in the beginning of the journey, it was all about reducing stigma, but since 2004, a whole lot's happened. Our whole industry has exploded, not only into multiple pathways to recovery, but major harm reduction instruments, tools, and caveats out there. And we were able to penetrate the criminal justice system and actually provide wonderful programming for folks incarcerated to include the appropriate reentry support services. We've also been able to help navigate the explosion of the peer navigators in our community, those that ride along with first responders and people in that area. So we've really got to see the true incubation of the authentic peer recovery support services, as well as the bureaucratic type of services as well. So, you know, we've gotten from point A to point B in 18 years, but we still got to get to point C, D, E, and F. So our journey continues. We have a lot of work to do. I feel like our best work is in front of us. I feel like the world hasn't seen nothing yet when it comes to the real power and importance of authentic peer recovery support services provided by those with lived experience, allowing those very same people to help shape policies and develop the new systems. So As always, more later. Thank you very much. Here at McShin, we believe in the McShin way, which is authentic recovery support service providers, people with lived experience, bringing that experience to those who need that lived experience in recovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in many things to support our mission. We believe in women empowerment.
What I love most about what we believe here at McShin is we believe in the authenticity of the peer-to-peer approach.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in giving people opportunity.
Here at McShin, we believe in the inherent worth and dignity of every person.
At the McShin Foundation, we believe in helping people reach their full potential.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in multiple pathways to recovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in placing principles before personalities to help spread hope.
Here at McShin, we believe that recovery is possible and that any person seeking recovery can become a more acceptable, responsible, and productive member of society.
Here at the McShin Foundation, we believe in self-discovery.
Here at McShin, we believe in saving lives and offering second chances.
Here at McShin, we believe you can do this.
Here at McShin Foundation, we believe that we can only keep what we have by giving away, which is why we continue to help others like us seek and find recovery.
Ready? All right, listen up. We're gonna get the second half started. It's so tall. I'm good. I'll just do my tippy toes. I'm Honesty. I am a woman in recovery, and I am a McShin proud alum of this organization. Helped to save my life over 15 years ago, and I am the co-founder of Care Talks and best-selling author of this beautiful book, Scattered Feet. I'm gonna wear this shirt every day. Free advertising. But if you're a McShin and you need a book, just hit me up on Monday and I'll give you one of my books, okay? So the next speaker that we have is one of my good friends. She is actually a McShin alum as well. You know, being able to work in this environment, I came in earlier and I was like, this is the coolest place in the world to work. Like, it literally is. It's family here. And then we get to see these humans come into our organization and their lives literally change in front of us. And it's a breathtaking experience. So this woman is a mom, a wife, but also like one of the super coolest chicks I've ever met in this whole time coming through this organization. Because she keeps it real and she doesn't give a you know what, like, because that is the authenticity that I adore in the humans that we serve and the people that we're surrounded with, is because life is way too short. And it is up to us to like be healers, but also be ourselves and learn from ourselves and learn from our challenges as well. And this woman has definitely had some challenges throughout her recovery, and she's one of the best role models you can have, you know, ladies. So I would get her number before you leave. With that, I give you Kelley Wysocki.
I can take the microphone off. Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm actually gonna do. I'm not a public speaker though, but hi everyone, I'm Kelley. I'm an addict alcoholic, and I'm a person in long-term recovery. Okay, so I'm gonna try not to cry because you know, my predecessors before me would say, you know, it gets better, it gets easier, and they still say that, and I really didn't believe them until this year, like this Thanksgiving. I've just, you know, I know it was tough for you, Corey, but man, this was the best Thanksgiving I've ever had in my whole life. And to see like, and I'll get to how I got here to this point, and how I've grown, but it's hard to say how much gratitude I have and how good I feel when I have my brother struggling right now and he's really sick. You know, and it's just frustrating because you just want to like give it to him. And you know, my story is very different than Tammie's, but I'm really grateful. I don't know if she's still here, but whatever Tammie said, I'm so thankful for you saying that, because I need to hear the relapse as part of the story, because that wasn't my story. I started drinking and using when I was in high school. I was tripping in high school and I was blacking out drunk, and that never stopped. And I never even knew about recovery. I was so delusional. I never thought I had a problem. I thought it was normal. I just wanted to party, be the fun, wild child. And that's how it was until I was 36, full-blown meth addict, living above a bar with a freaking 62-year-old. And that was a hard one to let go, too. That was crazy, right? You met him. So, you know, 36 years old, it was a spiritual bottom for me. I was full-blown meth addict, like I said. I was, paranoid. I was afraid. I was delusional. And I fell to my knees, and I finally called my mom and asked for help. And I was living in New Jersey, and they actually drove down to New Jersey from New Hampshire and brought me back up to New Hampshire all in one day. They knew I was ready, and something in me knew I was ready, but I didn't know what that meant, though. I didn't know about recovery. I didn't know. I mean, I did, but I didn't. Like, my stepfather's in recovery, and I would make fun of, like, 12 steps. That's so stupid. Resentments. What's that? I don't know. Like, I didn't get it. Like, I was so delusional. And I got to a homeless shelter, and I started to understand, like I had this gratitude that, like, it consumed me, and I started to understand, like, oh my gosh, you know, like, I just need to just not use, and like just do what everyone tells me to do. And they were like, make calls, find places to go, you know. And I was grateful for this mattress that I had, and I was excited that I was going to bed at 11 o'clock and not up for 5 days. Like, all these things I became grateful for. It was crazy. Like the experience was surreal, and I literally felt like I was 16 years old again. Like, I was 36 years old, and I felt like I was 16. And I came down to McShin. I had my first sober Thanksgiving here, and I was freaking like obsessed with recovery. Like, I was going to AA and NA. I was doing service positions in both. I had sponsor. I was working steps. I was done the first 12 steps by 9 months. Like, I was obsessed, you know. Like, I literally chased my recovery like I chased my drugs. And that first Thanksgiving, I was with this family. I built my whole life around recovery. And, the things that worked for me, the 12 steps we talked about, but like, I was obsessed with exercising. I was obsessed with journaling. I was obsessed with meditation. I was obsessed with prayers, gratitude lists. Like, I was up at freaking 3 o'clock in the morning for 3 hours, like doing all this stuff. Yes, I was coming off of meth, so it was probably that too. But, I was really just, I guess, really passionate. And I've held on to that. I still do a lot of that stuff. But that first Thanksgiving, it was hard. But I surrounded myself with like-minded people and people in recovery. And I just did, I stuck around the people that wanted the same thing I wanted. And it just became my life. So moving forward, fast forward, God knew what I needed. I needed not a small family. I needed a big family. I had to marry a man that had 7 kids. So we're not lonely on the holidays or all the birthdays. So then after that, I had my child, 2018. So I was a little over 2 years sober by 2018. I had my first child, which I never thought I was going to have kids. And we have our first Thanksgiving at our house. And it was hard. It was really hard. I was suffering from postpartum. I wanted to drink. And you know, what I really had to do was make sure I took care of myself. And what that meant was I couldn't hang out all day with everybody. I had to disappear in my room. And that's actually been my forte over the years. And I actually, how long yesterday was I in my room for? Maybe like 20 minutes? Not long, right? I've been paying attention. Like that was our fourth Thanksgiving at our house. And like, you know, it gets better. You got to continue to do the work. It's a daily reprieve. It's every day. You know, I am an addict and I'm okay with that, you know, and these feelings do pass. You know, it's just crazy how delusional I was for so long. Like I just didn't get it. And then I did. And then I just knew what I needed to do. And you're right. Like, yeah, I'm an addict, alcoholic. I'm going to think about a damn drink. I miss margaritas. Like that is for sure. But you know, oh, there's that thought. Yep, I'm definitely an alcoholic. I'm not going to drink today. And then that's it. Stay in the day. I'm not going to drink today. So that's how I make it through the holidays. You know, if you're struggling, I'm available 24/7. So thanks. Okay. I don't know how to put that back in.
All right, our next speaker is scared to death. She's been sweating and shaking, and her sweat is dripping all over me up here. I don't know, Art. That might stay, but you might have to hold it. So our next speaker, I've seen her since she came through the McShin Foundation. She is now staff at the McShin Foundation, and every day I come in this building, I hope to see her every single day, because I'm telling you, the people, she's got tissues, she's already crying. The people that come into this organization and then they start working here is even cooler. And she can do nothing but bring a smile to your face. Like, I don't know if you know her, but hopefully all of you will get to know her better after this, because she literally makes me laugh every single day I come in here, and makes me just want to be a better human. So with that, I give you Barbie.
She's already got me crying, so that's all right though. My name's Barbie and I am an addict. I got here, I want to say, by the grace of God. Sorry. Love you guys too. And I can't believe that I'm actually up here talking, that people, that I'm doing something right. I've been using for 43 years, and I keep saying that I've only been clean a year, but out of 40 years, it's been a long year. It's been a fast year. Actually, it's 14 months. Those 2 months mean something. But how I navigate through the holidays, I actually cooked this year. I cooked for 2 days to make these guys feel at home. And I actually had 2 guys come up to me crying, saying that they hadn't had a Thanksgiving dinner like that in 10 years. And it made me feel really special. Man. Anyway, how I navigate through the holidays. I get up in the morning and I'm grateful every day that I get up. And I ask God for his will to be done, not mine, because I got to get out of my way. But God's got me every day. I come in here and I'm a McShin's RCS, Recovery Cleaning Specialist. Yeah, absolutely. But I get to come in here and I get to watch these people grow. And it warms my heart to see these guys come in here, and they come in here and you look like shit when you get here. And then I see them, come in, and every day they look better and better and better. And man, it just warms my heart. And I get hugs every day, and I love that. There's so much love in this place, and I get to spread that love. And I'm so grateful today that I got the best job in the world. I could make more money, Jesse, just saying. But I'm grateful for what I get, because it's my job. It's priceless to watch you guys grow. I can't talk the whole 8 minutes because I'm not a yacker. I could cry for another 4, I promise you that. But I just want to tell you guys, I'm thankful for everything you do for me. And I don't worry about tomorrow because I know God's already there. He's got my back in every way. She said to talk about Jesus, but if I talk about Jesus, and I can't thank him enough, Like Walter says, if you got 1,000 tongues, you can't thank him enough. And I know when I got here, I was 28 days, and then I got here, and I came to breaking the bondage the Sunday afterwards. And I called my son. I said, come pick me up after church. Well, he called. He was on his way, and I said, don't come. I said, I want to stay another 30 days. And then that 30 days has turned into over a year I've been here. I'm a house leader. And I don't consider myself a house leader. I'm just try to guide these guys. And I try to lead by example. I can't talk the talk, but I can walk the walk. Yeah, but today I'm just so grateful. I guess that's all I got.
All right. Yes, Barbie. She's a sweet baby angel. So the next speaker is alum of McShin. We got McShin alum up in the house. And we got to reconnect over a faith event that I went to recently, and it's really cool seeing people they haven't seen in a long time, and seeing where their lives have gone, and all the beautiful things they're doing, not just in their recovery, but also on this planet, and they're doing for other people. So with that, I give you Jason Buckley.
I get up here and do my karaoke. Y'all to hear me do my karaoke. It's crazy. My name is Jason. I'm a addict and alcoholic, but I'm also a person in long-term recovery, which for me, that means that I haven't had to use a drink or a drug since August 23rd of 2012. So I just celebrated 10 years. And I could not have done it without that man, this young lady, and this RCO that we love so much that's called McShin. John and David Rook were coming down to the jail. I was in a program at the Richmond City Jail. At one time I thought my address was going to be 1701 Fairfield Way. It was my address. It was my address. And I was in a program there called Men in Recovery. And John and Rook would come in there every day, and they'd walk in there, And I said, man, I want some of what they got. I said, I want recovery. I want this thing called recovery. And, for me, I know we're talking about staying clean during the holidays. But for me, every day is a day to stay clean and sober. And every day to be grateful for what we have. I stand strong on Psalms 40:2, which says he lifted me up out of the muck and the mire and placed my feet on a solid ground. And for anybody, that muck could be drugs, alcohol, pornography, whatever separates you from God. And for me, it was all those things. Guy asked me one time, he said, man, what'll happen if you take a drink? I said, picture this. I said, you wake up, your money's gone, your watch is gone, your car keys are gone. He said, that's what'll happen to you if you take a drink. I said, no, that's what'll happen to you if I take a drink. I'll be out to get you then. trick, trap, ambush. And that's just how it goes, man. I mean, I can be the nicest guy in the world, clean and sober, and I start drinking and drugging, and the next thing you know, I'm stealing your wallet and helping you look for it. Man, I know that thing was around here somewhere. But, you know, like yesterday, Thanksgiving, over the past 8 years, I guess. So I came here in 2014. My dad came and picked me up from the Richmond City Jail. I called them. So I was in jail for umpteenth time. They had pulled my criminal background check when I went to get my contractor's license, and it was 31 pages long. So they were releasing me in January. John, you remember I came, I had shorts on, and it was cold outside. You gave me some pants. Your pants were size 40 at the time, by the way. They ain't a 40 now. I still had some of them 40s. I said, man. But, you know, so they, I was in Richmond and Chesterfield back and forth. And so Richmond thought Chesterfield had put me on probation, and Chesterfield thought Richmond had put me on probation. So my release date came, and they were like, all right, see you later. I said, oh, shit, where am I going to go, man? But I had been talking to John. I said, look, man, let me come stay at one of the houses. And he took me to Smith House. And I went from Smith House to Big Al's house. And but, you know, the biggest thing for me was I embraced recovery. Like, I went to 120 meetings in 90 days. You know, I didn't count myself out. Like, you know, back in the day, I would go to a meeting and people would be talking. I say, I ain't done that yet. And they all became my not yets. You know, I ran with the good herd. John, that was, you know, I think back now on all of the things that you used to say and that I heard in these rooms and that I was shared with from the old timers. And it was all of those things, you know, don't use no matter what. Run with the good herd. And I try to incorporate those into all of my daily life, man. And, you know, one of the biggest things that I do when I pray in the morning, I pray with my wife, who's also in recovery, who we reconnected here in a meeting on a Friday night. And yeah, honestly. So, and you know, they said don't get in no relationship for a year. I think Rook and John were even taking bets that we wouldn't make it at the time. Yeah, it is a safe bet normally, but we. So we've been married now for 8 years, and she's amazing. Man, life has been so good. I mean, like I said, I went from being homeless to homeowner, homeless to business owner, and every day I'm grateful, man. When I pray in the mornings, I say, God, I say, help me to help somebody. You know, help me to get out of my own way and help somebody. And I don't care whether it's the guy holding the sign at the stoplight, or I don't care whether it's not rolling that cart out of Walmart with that case on the sodas about him going, I got away one more time. You know, it's like not just that cash register honesty. It's if we drink and we drug to change the way we feel, if we feel good about ourselves, then we don't have to drink and drug. So if I know that I'm doing everything right, if I'm helping people, if I'm helping, you know, somebody that's struggling, somebody that's got a flat tire, I'm helping them change it, or if I'm not being a piece of you know what like I used to be, and I'm helping somebody, then I can look in the mirror and honestly say, I don't have to take a drink, or I don't have to get high today, you know. And then step 1, 2, and 3, I can't, he can, why not let him? You know what I mean? And so, man, and I put my faith in God. I'm very involved in my church. I serve in my church. I was there last Sunday from 6 in the morning till like 1 in the afternoon. We have 3 services. And so, you know, I've served there. They put me on the safety team when I first got there. I said, y'all seen my background check? Put me on the safety team, man. Give me a badge and tell me I'm in charge of things. Man, what's going on here? But, you know, they did, and they have seen this guy. You know, the old guy was a hot mess. It was bad, man. You know, and like we say, we talk about those secular folks who don't have the 12 steps. And I you know, my son who's 20 years old, is he's got the ism. You know, it's not a wasm, it's an ism. And he's struggling. He's in the heart program right now in Chesterfield County. And you know, when he calls me, I tell him the same thing. I say, son, I told you, I said, you're gonna try it and you're gonna like it. And he did. And you know, it's tough. It's tough, man, because you feel like you failed him. But then again, I have to go back every day, man, and just trust that God is God's plan. You know, page 417 of the big book, Alcoholics Anonymous. You know, that's it, man. I have to trust. I have to trust that everything is just like it's supposed to be in God's world right now. You know, regardless of what and like my wife always says, man, you know, because I used to could talk a real good game. They used to call me Mr. Slick, you know. So that's what this, I went to rehab the first time in North Carolina, and this counselor looked at me. She said, Mr. Buckley, I was in Mount Airy, North Carolina, the home of Mayberry, right? She said, Mr. Buckley, she said, you know what's going to kill you? I said, that shot of cocaine or that shot of heroin? She said, no, that Mr. Slick that lives inside you. He's going to kill you one of these days. And, you know, my wife in the beginning would always tell me, she would say, Mr. Slick, that's him. I hear you talking the talk, but she say, I watch your feet. You know what I mean? It's like she said that, you know, you can't always talk the talk, but you can walk the walk, you know? And so you have to, man, you just got to do it, man. So for all you guys that are in the houses, man, I was in Smith, like when I was just using that restroom, somebody's keeping that I used to keep that restroom that clean too. So yeah. I said, man, smell like bleach in here, man. It's clean. But you know, those are all they're all the things, man, that you have to put it at the front of everything. You know, gratitude, and man, just not being a piece of you know what. I mean, really. Because at the end of the day, you might be clean and sober, but if you're cheating on your girl or your wife, man, eventually that conscience is going to have you back out there because the devil wants you dead, but he's happy if you're miserable. You know what I mean? I say that all the time, man. People say, what's your job? I said, I'm a tile guy. And they said, you're pretty good at it? I said, yeah, I'm pretty good at it. I said, well, you know what the devil's job is? If you like blonde and heroin, he ain't going to send you no cocaine and a brunette. You know what I mean? He's going to send you what you're going to make it look real good. And that little guy right there on the shoulder going to say, come on, man, you can do it this time. You can do it this time. It'll be different this time. How many times we told ourselves that? It's going to be different this time. You know, I used to play the tape, and I'm going to share this, and then I'm going to end. You know, I used to play the tape, the beginning of the tape, and it would start off at, my story is like Applebee's used to have that tall, frosty Brutus glass, right? And they would take the beer and pour it in there, and it would turn into like a beer Slurpee. It was like a beer utopia, right? But that was the first part of the tape. The end of the tape was I'm in the city motel peeking out the window. I got the same shoes and socks on that I had on for 5 days. And the dope man's driving my truck, and I'm praying, man, I hope he bring me that blast back. You know what I mean? That's it. And hoping I can make it home, man. You know, where I was supposed to be. But it's, man, I stressed this, and I just shared this the other day. I said, man, you never have to drink or use again. You really don't, man. Don't use no matter what. That's it, right there. Don't use no matter what, man. The dog dies, the wife leaves you. That's what you used to say, man. Don't use no matter what. Because I promise you, you will not regret staying clean and sober, man, but you will regret getting high. Thanks for letting me share.
Oh, look, figured it out. The last, I know. Hey, Jesus made me short, and I love it. So our last speaker is one of my faves. He is my hire for the McShin Foundation. And, being able not to, again, this is the super coolest place ever to work. It's not just we're coworkers by any means, we're family. And I've been able to see him go through a lot of serious stuff and a lot of challenges since he started to work here at McShin, and go through it very humbling, but also scared, and he's a pretty big dude. And, you wouldn't think. And he cried yesterday morning in the gratitude meeting. We don't have that in tape though. But to see how family oriented he is, and for him to be a husband to one of my good friends is pretty amazing, because I was there when y'all met, and I know a lot of that story. So being able to have a male figure in this organization that has been through a lot of different challenging things, and he's walked through it in pain, and it's been beautiful, but it's also, he hasn't used no matter what. And then he got a lot of work to do around here. So I'm super grateful for Jessie Wysocki.
She's made that very clear. I'll take it off too. All right, so first, my name is Jessie Wysocki. I'm a person in long-term recovery from substance use disorder, and what that means for me is I haven't found it necessary to use any mood or mind-altering chemicals, substances for going on. It'll be 11 years in January. So, yeah. And I want to clarify something, right, for the participants that are sitting out here and anybody that's watching. I didn't meet Kelley while she was in McShin, so let's just and I didn't work at McShin either. So let's just clear that up. All right. I hadn't started working here. It had been a while since she had came out of McShin. We actually met at an NA meeting, and from there it just launched love at first sight for me. And I want to share this too. I just I love listening to my wife speak. She came up here and she said that she's not a public speaker, and John was like, "Yes, you are." Like, she really, and everybody was good, man. Everybody, like, I'm just sitting here, like, my soul was getting fed just sitting here, and like, I'm like, I don't even want to come up here and share. Like, I don't got nothing else to share. Like, I don't know what else to tell y'all. Right? My soul got fed by everybody that came up here before me. And I wish I could tell you a magic formula, on how to stay clean through the holidays. But I really, honestly, I'm keep it real. I don't know the magic formula. I don't. I just don't pick up. Right? I don't use, like, my days. My days during the holidays aren't much different than my days outside of the holidays, and that's me just keeping it real with you. Now, like, I'll struggle at times, but I struggle when it's not the holidays, right? And so what happened for me early on, I allowed, this is what's real important for me. Like, I allowed people to teach me, right? And then and see, some of y'all might, those of y'all that see me on a daily basis might be like, man, that dude ain't got no humility, right? He's always telling us what to do and how to do it, right? That might go through your mind. But like, humility is just remaining teachable, right? And for me, I had to be teachable, and I still have to be teachable. And that's what helped me through this process, right? So I came, I came 11 years ago, in and out of treatment centers, in and out of rehabs, in and out of 12-step. And, like what was shared before me by Corey, my pathway is NA, and I'm not representing Narcotics Anonymous. That's just the pathway that I go to. But like my wife shared, like, the things that I do is exercise. I don't really meditate too much. I meditate, but not her form of meditation. Um, she tricks me sometimes. She tells me I'm going to meditate, and she goes upstairs and goes to sleep. So, like, that's that's her form of meditation. She used to get me like that for years, y'all. Hey, on the way here, babe, my wife, she was like, I gotta get back to meditating. And I swear I wanted to be like, you gotta get back to sleeping upstairs, but I didn't say nothing. um, but but these things that y'all taught me are the things that I still do today, right? They're the things that I still do today. I was trying to think on what I wanted to share, and I want to share something about the past with y'all, and then I want to share something that happened yesterday. And again, I don't know the magic formula, right? But I know what it was like to be sitting behind that glass, whether it was in prison when you can have the visit where you could touch somebody, or in jail where I had that glass in front of me. I've been to both of them, right? And I remember this one particular time where I was over at Riverside Jail. I think somebody was talking about being at Riverside. I was over at Riverside Regional Jail, and my son, my oldest son, who, God rest his soul, passed away as a direct result of substance use. I remember him coming to visit me. Him and his sister, my other daughter, Haley, right? Justin and Haley came to visit me, and I'm sitting, the glass is in front of me. They come, they knock on the glass, pick up the phone, and they're like, Dad, all you do is lie to me. You told me you won't gonna get locked back up, and you locked back up, right? I'll never forget that moment, right? Man, I remember I didn't know what to say to him. I didn't know what to do. I remember walking back to my cell, shutting the door, and right, that like Corey said, I don't like to cry, and that was a lie. I didn't cry yesterday for those that weren't there, but I'm incarcerated, right? So y'all been incarcerated, who's been locked up, right? I don't want nobody in the pod to see me cry, so I gotta shut the cell, and I'm crying in this cell, and I'm like, man, what is wrong with you, Jess? Like, you keep lying to your kids. You a piece. I was a piece of shit. I was terrible, man. Like, people see me now as a good dad. I want a good dad. My kids, man, I was terrible, man. I stole from them. I shot dope in front of them. I lied to them. That's the stuff that I did to my kids, right? Now you can fast forward, right? Fast forward, and we having Thanksgiving dinner at my house, at our house. At our house. Me and my wife are having the family over, and this has been a tradition that her and we started since we got together. Like, used to be, before I met my wife, before I met Kelley, I would go over to my sister's house usually, and then after we got together, I started, I love family. I love camaraderie. I love connection. I love that. And we started this, and yesterday, so I got a 13-year-old son. I'm gonna share this. This might sound a little inappropriate, but I gotta share it, man, because to me it was the funniest shit I ever seen. Y'all might not think it's funny, right? But to me it was just funny. So I got a 13-year-old son, and his cousin is over visiting. And he comes over. He usually comes over every year for Thanksgiving, so they're close. Cam and DK, they're real close. They're over there, and I put them to work, right? They came over on Wednesday, and I said, look, I need y'all to go out and rake the leaves. I'll give you a little bit of help. You want to make some money, I'll give you some money. But y'all got to go out in the backyard, and y'all got to rake the leaves. And they're like, all right, we'll do it. Since you're going to pay us, we'll do it. So they both go out there, and they got some rakes. And so I got, the blower machine. I'm like, all right, I'll give you a blower, and y'all can take the blowing machine out there and work that too. And, they're both out there. And so, like, they're working for a little while. I'm taking pictures, because very rarely do I get to see them doing work for real. And like I walk out, they open the door, and the blower, they're blowing the leaves, right? But they're talking, and they don't hear me walk up on them. So I'm sorry, y'all. It's just funny, right? So I hear their conversation, right? And DK's got the machine, the blowing machine. He's blowing the leaves, and he's holding it on his hip like this. How you blow it. And Cam looks at him. Cam's like, damn, I bet that feels good on your meat. So he answers him. He's like, yeah, it does. So I got to get my thing out. I'm recording it now. Cam's like, all right, let me try it. He takes the damn machine, right? He starts blowing the. Yo, that shit was the funniest thing I seen. And then he turns around and he sees I caught him, and he's like, oh. Yo, he jumps, he throws the machine. Man, look, that right there, man, that made my day. I'm telling you, man, like, that was it, man. And that's the stuff, right? That right there, that's the stuff that keeps me clean, man. That's the stuff that helps me through the holidays, right? I get to be a part of that. Like, I wasn't a part of that. I was the guy behind that glass freaking mirror knocking, picking up the phone, right? And now I get to be a part of that, man. So, I don't know the magic formula, right? But I know I know this. I don't want to use. Man. I don't want to go back to that glass window, right? I don't want to go back to the different socks smelling for 5 days, right? I don't want to go back to that stuff. Man, I love my life today. Thanks for letting me share, y'all.
I won't be giving my 13-year-old a blower. All right. Yeah. So. Well, I won't be listening. Okay, so that's to wrap it up. Just a couple things that we didn't announce. So these videos go into 76 jails in the United States. So that we have a really cool partnership with the tablets in the jails. So it's really reaching so many people. So I really appreciate all the speakers and your time. Our next event for the end for the year will be December 30th here in this room. We're going to talk about ringing in the new year and how to stay in recovery and some tips and solutions on that. And our very own Mandy Brando is going to do a book signing back there. Mandy handles our jail programs. And then McShin has a big event coming on December 11th. It is Shopping with Santa. So we're going to have an event in here for kids. We're going to have arts and crafts, so bring your children. And then we're going to have a silent auction going on at the same time. So that's December 11th from 4 to 6 here. And just follow us on social media, Care Talks and the McShin Foundation. And just everybody have a safe, happy holiday.
This is gonna be the best day ever. This is gonna be the best day ever. Wake up, top of the morning. The bacon is crispy, the coffee is pouring. My meditation is peeling an orange. The bank says I'm already scoring. I got a parking spot right outside. Step into my brand new ride. All we ever get is green lights. The blue sky.